Hi everyone, it's Lauren Day and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing my favorite foundation of all time. I cannot believe I stumbled across this foundation. It is only $5. Yes, girls, you heard right, $5. And I've been a makeup artist for so many years, and I have been wearing makeup and loving makeup for so long. And I think foundation is the hardest thing to knack when it comes to foundation. Finding the right foundation for your skin type, finding the right finish, finding the right coverage, finding the right color. So when I stumbled across this foundation, it is the W7 HD foundation. I thought to myself, it's only $5. Let me give it a try and see how it is. This foundation from W7, it's a UK brand that's not tested on animals. And this HD foundation, I just stumbled across this when I was browsing my local chemist warehouse. And I thought to myself, it's only $5. Let me give it a try, see how it goes. And I was definitely looking for a new foundation at the time. My skin is combination to oily, so at the end of the day I usually have a very shiny face, so I'm always looking for a matte foundation, but a foundation that is full coverage, matte finish, long lasting, but it doesn't give me a dry or dull looking appearance to my skin. And this foundation is absolutely brilliant. It is the perfect consistency. It gives you a light to medium coverage, but it's also buildable to a full coverage. And I'll show you that in a second. And this foundation, it lasts all day. It dries down to a 12-hour wear, so it dries down. You don't even really need a powder over the top of this foundation. It's absolutely fantastic. So let me show you the consistency. It comes in this pump bottle and you get 30 mils, which is amazing. So the consistency of the foundation, I'll pump some on the back of my hand. So this is the consistency of the foundation, and I'll just spread it out so you can see. So I would say that it is a liquidy foundation, but it has a very creamy texture to it. This foundation is the perfect consistency between a liquid and a cream foundation. And this color here is the color I use on my face. I like to choose a shade of foundation that's one shade darker than my natural skin tone, and the shade that I use is called Sand Beige. I find this foundation really convenient because also at the end of the foundation the pump does come off and you can get the extra part of the foundation out when the pump stops working. So once you get down to the bottom of this foundation and your pump stops working, you can take the top off and you can pour out the excess, or you can use a cotton tip or dip your brush in there to get out the excess, which is really good because a lot of foundations, the pump is actually secured to the glass bottle or the plastic bottle and it doesn't come off. So this is an actual glass bottle, so it's not plastic, so it's glass, and then the plastic cap. The pump is very, very easy to use. It never malfunctions. I just find this foundation to be absolutely so excellent for $5. I would pay up to $30 for this foundation. It's really that good. And what I love about this foundation is once you apply the foundation, you can actually shear it out. So you can just apply a very, like maybe one pump of this foundation is enough to get a very light coverage on your face. Maybe 2 pumps of this foundation will give you medium coverage, and I usually use 3 pumps. So I'll apply the first pump to the back of my hand, apply with a sponge. The sponge that I use is one like this, so it's just a cosmetic wedge, and I use that. I apply 1 layer of my foundation. It dries very, very quickly, this foundation. Then I apply 1 more pump, and then I'll add it to the areas that I need extra coverage. So maybe around my nose or underneath my eyes or around my jawline. I usually need a little bit extra coverage, or maybe on my forehead. And then if I need even more coverage, I'll add a 3rd pump and add a little bit more, maybe down my neck, blend it down my neck. This coverage is amazing because you can really get light coverage, medium coverage, or full coverage by just applying extra layers of the foundation once the first layer or second layer has dried, which I really, really love. This foundation dries to a beautiful consistency, so it actually dries to a very matte finish, but it's not drying on the skin. I do actually set this foundation with powder. I use a mineral foundation. It's by Nude by Nature, and it's their mineral coverage foundation, and I actually use that as my pressed powder. But I would say that if you have oily skin or even dry skin, you don't need to set this foundation with a powder. It actually does dry to a matte finish. It's very long lasting on the skin. It lasts all day. I don't find at the end of the day that I have a shiny face, which I do with a lot of foundations that are creamy foundations or dewy foundations. I can't use those type of foundations. I absolutely adore and love this foundation, and I highly recommend it. Two other products I've tried from the W7 line is their very vegan foundation. Now, unlike the HD foundation, which is $4.95, this foundation is $9.95, so it's twice the price, but it is actually certified by the Vegan Society, so it's an all vegan product, and this consistency of this foundation actually is a little bit thicker, so when you pump it onto the back of your hand, I would say compared to the HD foundation, the consistency of this foundation is much thicker and creamier, which means it doesn't really have as much water content in the foundation. I found it's quite creamy to apply, and it does dry to a very matte finish. So if you have dry skin, this foundation would be good because it's more of a creamy consistency. It would be great for dry skin, but also if you have oily skin, because it dries to a matte finish, it's perfect as well. And what I love about the W7 foundations is I can get the same shade. So I am sand beige in this foundation, and I'm also sand beige in this foundation, which is really great. So if you like a particular W7 foundation, you know that you can try another foundation in their range and you'll be the exact same shade, which is really, really excellent. Another product from W7 which I enjoy using is the Skin Fresh Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair, and so this matches me. So if you have a fair complexion like me, you may be the colour Sand Beige. If I'm tan, I can wear Natural Beige, is one shade darker than Sand Beige. And so if you are Sand Beige like me, you may be able to use this one in Fair because it's a very similar colour. And this one is a beautiful consistency. It's again $4.95. This particular concealer is 12 mils, so I do believe that's quite a lot of concealer for just $5. And I highly recommend this one as well. It's a beautiful concealer. It doesn't crease. It's very creamy, and it's a very similar color to the shade Sand Beige, which is perfect for me. Girls, have you tried the W7 foundations? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you have tried this W7 HD foundation, and if you do have a Chemist Warehouse near you, or I do believe you can order them online as well. They're so affordable. I highly recommend it, and it's the foundation that I've been using for the last couple of months, and I've really enjoyed using it. And I hope you enjoyed this foundation review. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos, and I'll see you girls in my next video.